this video, I'm going to show you how to cast concrete in a mold without mixing it. It's really easy. I'll show you. We are making this mold out of an old broken flower pot, and we formed this part of the mold out of wood. We're just placing it in the bottom, and we're going to put grease over everything. You can use Vaseline. We have some lithium grease. We're going to smooth it in all the cracks so the concrete will release very easily. We're just using a scrap of cardboard to get the grease out. If you don't put the grease in, it sticks to the pot and will not release. If you're using this tube of grease for molds, you don't want to use it for anything else, because you wouldn't want sand and grit to get into this grease if you're putting it in an engine, for example. You may not need to grease it in between pours. We could probably get a couple different concrete pillars out of this. We buy bags of concrete for $1. It happens at the store more often than you might think, because concrete bags break quite frequently, and it's usually somewhere back in the bargain section or discounted section. We pour the concrete in dry, and that way it fills every crevice, and then we pour the water on top. We used to mix it all up with water first and then pour it into the molds, but once we started doing it this way, we found we get the same result. And just tap it every once in a while to make sure the air pockets get bumped out. We'll leave about 1/4 of an inch for the water at the top, and then just bump it around to make sure it's flat at the top. You just pour the water on top slowly, and this is set in a nice level place. So this water will absorb slowly, and eventually whatever is not absorbed will drain out the bottom. See the bubbles as the air is working its way out and the water is working its way in. So you can see it has not drained out the bottom yet, so we're going to put in a little more water. So as you're adding water to the top, it will be draining down out the bottom, because this is a flower pot with a hole in the bottom. If there was no hole, if this was a concrete form with no hole, then you'd end up with too much water in your mix and it wouldn't have the strength it needs. So after this is cured overnight, we can go ahead and get this set up in the garden, and with a little wiggle, it'll come out. This needs to be pried up off of there. And there you go. We'll be setting a wooden post for the structure of the garden right onto this pedestal.